Penn State quarterback Sean Clifford was 28 of 32, 280 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. His yards per attempt were 8.8 in his game against Auburn. That they were able to win 28-20. And I want to talk about Clifford and kind of break down some film of him against Auburn. Talk about why he was able to be so successful and have such a high completion percentage and put Penn State's offense in a position to succeed. And it's largely due to Mike Yurcich's offense getting Auburn out of position. So we're going to dive through some film here and look at Auburn being out of position and Sean Clifford making big time throw after big time throw and really making smart and wise decisions with it, and they were able to convert on 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 7s, and you'll see even the very beginning of the game to be able to convert on that 3rd and 7 on the opening drive. So overall, Clifford played within the offense and made big time throws when needed to. So I want to dive into the film, so let's go on and get into it. So this play is in the middle of the third quarter, and I wanted to start off with this play first for a simple fact. I think this kind of embodies how Clifford played throughout the entire game, and it kind of shows his skill set as well. So he remained calm during this play, like he did the whole game. He was able to use his legs to buy time and roll out and hit a good pass here. So he's always been able to use his legs. He's always been able to make plays outside the pocket, but it was kind of combining his calm nature he had in this game, playing very composed here, that led him to have a successful play here, but also just a game. So I wanted to kind of show this clip here. So we're going to see Auburn does get pressure with 4. He doesn't freak out. He remains calm, able to roll out, eyes downfield. We're going to see him hit a big first down here. At this point in the game, Penn State is up. That's a good ball here, by the way. Penn State is up 21-17 with about 5 minutes left, so they're trying to put the game out of reach, if you will, but it kind of came down to the wire, of course. But again, a good example of how Clifford played the whole night. Very calm, used his legs when needed to, and was able to make big plays at time after time, So let's go ahead and dive into the rest of the game film. We're going to see him make big throws, stay calm, and very collective here. But before we dive into the film, I just want to encourage y'all to consider subscribing to the channel if you like any quarterback-related content. Boom. Okay, let's keep on going with it then.
So here's a great read by Sean Clifford. This is early in the not early, it's late in the first quarter actually, and Penn State is driving here. So we see Clifford noticing that you got one up top safety, right? So it's either going to be probably cover 1 man under or cover 3 or some type of scheme related to that. And so with that the case, usually you have the seam routes that will be available here. So we have the tight end split out here. Outside the numbers, we see that he does a good job getting open, and Clifford does a strike down the middle of the field on that seam route here. And watch how this kind of confuses the Auburn defenders here, right? Both these DBs, you can kind of see they're going off the screen, are taking this receiver here. You have the safety that's more towards the field side here, and then that allows this big gap, this big opening for the tight end seam. See, initially this is Clifford is looking at the safety right now, looking the safety off, comes right back here. I know you can hardly see, but he's coming open right here, and gets spread the ball quickly. Ends up being a big play there for Penn State getting them to score. Now it gets inside the 5-yard line, that's right. But it's because of Clifford keeping the safety towards the field side and hitting his tight end in stride here.
So here's a touchdown pass by Sean Clifford at the end of the first quarter that put Penn State up by score 7-3. And another good example of him just playing calm here. And Penn State fans have seen Clifford make plays, throwing the ball on the run the past few years. But he's just calm and very collective here on this touchdown throw. We see the receiver come open, kind of the back of the end zone here. So a good job by Clifford, getting open, not forcing everything, buying more time. Eyes stay downfield, delivered a good ball for a touchdown there to the receiver in the back of the end zone. So good job by Sean Clifford, just remaining calm as the play develops and he buys more time.
So here's Sean Clifford on the opening drive for Penn State. It's a 3rd and 7 here. And you're going to see him have all the time in the world, right? Auburn only brings 3 men here, and so they drop 8 into coverage. And a lot of times when you have a lot of time as a quarterback, you start to kind of panic almost. So it's easy to be like, oh, he's got all the time in the world, make a pass. But as a quarterback, you know that your internal clock's ticking. So it's a good job by Clifford to stay composed, not freak out, not panic, let the play develop. See, even he wants to start taking off and running when he doesn't have to, right? Because he's got plenty of protection here. And not to mention a great job by the offensive line of Penn State, able to eventually find his guy. I know it's only like a 7-8 yard completion there, but just a good job not panicking. Kind of a example of a mature quarterback there. So good job by Clifford there on the opening 3rd and 7. Not to panic, let the play develop, and eventually a receiver came open.
So here's the opening drive for Penn State in the second half, and right now the score is 14-10. Penn State is up on Auburn, and they're driving down the field. So this is a good example of what a glance route looks like for a receiver. We're going to see Clifford hit this kind of route right here in this space, and so we got one up top safety. We got off coverage here. We got man press right here, and look how many guys we got in the box. That's 7 guys. Yes, 7 guys in the box. And we're going to see what this is a perfect example of what Yurcich's offense can do whenever you get some success here, because it gets defenders out of position. So we're going to see 2 Auburn backers be in the exact same position here. So everyone's expecting the run or playing the run. Coming down and taking his guy. This guy's off. So this is the glance route where the receiver, sees the DB off coverage, sees space here, and glances in and goes there. And we're going to see 2 Auburn defenders in the same zone here, so probably someone's supposed to be dropping back or at least coming over here to make it a little more covering a little more ground here. But regardless, good job by Clifford, good job by the offense getting defenders out of position and able to complete and get inside the 5-yard line here, and they'd eventually score.
So here Sean Clifford hits a strike to his tight end over the middle of the field, and we'll see this is what Mike Yurcich's offense can do to the defense. It gets them out of position, right? That's what any offense is trying to do, but especially this RPO type scheme that Yurcich is running here. So we see Auburn. We'll go ahead and count this guy here in the box, right? So we'll go ahead and say 7 in the box. You can even say 8 creeping in, right? You got Penn State and 12 personnel here, and watch how at the snap of the ball, this is the threat of the run game. It gets all the eyes are in the backfield, right? Everyone's here. Now we got zone right here as well. Here, but it leaves the middle of the field wide open. So immediately Clifford sees that here, able to be in rhythm. One quick hitch, able to throw it into a good pocket right there. It ends up being a big play for Penn State, and was a good kind of drive sustainer here. But a good ball in 1st and 10 there, and you can good example of the Auburn defense getting out of position.
So here's a 3rd and 3 for Penn State and Sean Clifford. At this point in the game, there's about 4 minutes left, and Penn State's down 3. It's 10-7 right now. So Clifford does a good job converting this slant route here. Might be by the inside slot receiver. We'll see here in 1 second. But it's a good throw here, and a big reason why he was 28 of 32, because he's able to complete passes like this to keep drives going and to keep the Penn State offense on the field. So you see Auburn's got 7 guys in the box. That's, if we want to include this DB here. If not, then it'll be 6. Regardless, we got a cover 1 man under scheme, even with some off coverage here. Good job by Clifford recognizing that. Good route combination here. Gets kind of the DBs mixed up. The ball's coming out right now from Clifford. So good, efficient throw, and just another example of just feeling just calm and feeling the groove that he was in all night. So good job by Clifford converting there. So here's the last clip I want to show of Sean Clifford. I think he does a good job showing, again, Auburn out of position, largely due to Yurcich's offense, and then Sean Clifford being able to execute the offense, right? So, again, Auburn's defense out of position, and a good play design here. This is the play that Clifford's able to hit the tight end wide open down the seam, and he's lined up as the tackle here. So, good play design here. There's no one in the backfield. It's got 5 spread out. Penn State earlier this drive ran a screen play, and so Auburn is kind of going for that, right? So they have a fake screen here, so it takes the DB here, and no one covering here. So again, Auburn's defense out of position, not one guy's looking at him. Clifford makes a nice, easy throw, right? So yes, it's good play design. You do have to execute, though. So a good job by Clifford here, hitting the tight end, and they are able to get deep into the red zone here. Here's another example of Auburn's defense out of position due to Clifford and Yurcich. So again, just to kind of wrap things up, Clifford played well within the offense, but was very calm, very collective, as cliche as that sounds. And then Yurcich's offense was able to help get Auburn's defense out of position, and Clifford was able to make those throws there. So great game by Clifford. Again, 28 of 32, 280 yards passing, and 2 touchdowns. Taking the defense gives him making big time throws when needed to as well. But I want to hear from you. What do you think Sean Clifford did well? How do you think Penn State's offense will continue moving forward? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time on the next quarterback related video.